Hello everyone, welcome to this comprehensive guide on the Chemistry Extended Essay for Year 6 students. Let's start off with a brief introduction to the Chemistry Extended Essay. The EE is a 4,000-word research paper that focuses on a specific chemistry topic. It emphasizes on independent research and critical thinking, and it contributes to your overall IB score. In this presentation, I will cover the assessment criteria, common mistakes to avoid, and some tips for success. Let's take a look at the assessment criteria. Your EE will be evaluated based on 5 criteria. Number 1, focus and method. Number 2, knowledge and understanding. Number 3, critical thinking. Number 4, presentation. And lastly, engagement. Each criterion has specific requirements and contributes to your overall score. In this section, we will focus on criterion A, which is focus and method. This criterion is worth 6 marks. This criterion emphasizes on the importance of having a very clear emphasis and focus on the chemistry aspect of the investigation. Firstly, the research question must be clearly stated and focused. It is essential to explain the rationale for choosing the method, ensuring that an appropriate range of literature sources and methods are selected. This will demonstrate the evidence of effective and informed selection of sources and methods. All your experimental work undertaken should include clear and concise description of the work. It is important to indicate in the extended essay whether the experiment is personally designed or if an existing method is adopted, with the source stated and the relevance improvement made if applicable. Students must be able to demonstrate that they truly understand the theory underlying their experimental work and state any assumptions made. So overall, if we look at criterion A, it focuses on the topic, the research question, the methodology. All right, you will need to clearly identify and explain your research topic, formulate a clearly focused research question, and choose appropriate methods to address it. Let me give you an example. Okay, for example, if your topic is the effect of pH on the rate of catalase activity in potato cells, your research question will therefore be, how does pH affect the rate of catalase activity in potato cells? So your methodology might involve using a range of pH buffers to test catalase activity and then measuring oxygen production as an indicator of enzyme activity. By addressing these aspects, students can ensure that their research is well-focused, methodologically sound, and clearly presented. Some common mistakes to avoid include choosing a topic and a research question in a subject other than chemistry, and not setting the research question within the context of the topic, or stating multiple research questions, or having a question that's just too broad. So make sure your research question is sharply focused and can be addressed within the 4,000 word limit. Clearly explain the rationale for choosing your methodology and maintain focus on the research question throughout the essay. Now we come to criterion B, knowledge and understanding, 6 marks. Criterion B assesses your knowledge and understanding of the relevant chemistry principles and ideas. So you must have an excellent understanding of the chemistry principles relevant to your research question and apply them correctly. When writing the extended essay, you need to maintain a consistent linguistic style throughout the essay and demonstrate the use of subject-specific terminology and concepts. You must also show that you have the ability to apply the selected sources and methods effectively in your essay to support your argument. And the resources that you are using must be clearly relevant and appropriate to your research question, and they must be effectively referenced and incorporated in the main body of your essay in such a way that it demonstrates your understanding. All literature cited in the extended essay should predominantly come from a range of acknowledged scientific sources. So what are some of the common mistakes that students may make? So some common mistakes include selecting sources that are not relevant to the research questions or using equations or formula without deriving them, or giving unnecessary explanations for very basic concepts of chemistry. Now, as you write your extended essay, ensure that your sources are relevant and effectively incorporated in your essay. Okay, as you write, make sure that you consistently demonstrate your understanding of the chemistry concepts and keep to a set of appropriate terminology consistently throughout your writing. Now we come to criterion C, critical thinking, and it has a weightage of 12 marks. The criterion emphasizes the importance of addressing any inadequate experimental design or systematic errors in your research. So as you're writing, it is crucial to evaluate and discuss the uncertainties of your measurements and show an awareness of any limitations or uncertainties that's inherent in your approach that you have taken. So students will be expected to critically comment on the validity and the reliability of the experiment data relative to their management of the various variables within their investigation. Okay, so some examples could be like commenting on the quality, the balance, and the quantity of their data and their sources. So to appropriately present and analyze the data, you may include some mathematical transformations, data processing, statistical analysis, present tables of processed data and graphs. So the data presented must be analyzed in such a way that they will support and clarify the argument leading to your conclusion. The stated conclusion that you make must be based on and must be consistent with your research that you have presented. This means that the conclusion should logically follow from the data and the analysis that you have provided in the essay. So through addressing all these aspects, you will be able to demonstrate your critical thinking skills and ensure that your research is thorough, valid, and reliable. As criterion C evaluates your critical thinking skills, you need to develop a reasoned argument that focuses on your research questions and along the way critically evaluate all your sources and your methodology. So what are some common mistakes that students may make? Some common mistakes may include making unsubstantiated claims, or they tend to deviate away from their research question and not including uncertainties associated with their experiment. Hence, as you're writing your research paper for your extended essay, maintain a logical argument that is linked to your research question and critically evaluate your research and discuss the limitations as well as some areas for further investigation. So this is the full rubric of Criterion C, critical thinking, that is worth 12 marks. I shall leave it here for you to take a look. So it's important to take a look at the rubrics in order for you to achieve 10 to 12 points for this criterion. So do spend some time looking at criterion C and make sure that you have fully achieved what is stated in the rubrics. In this section, I will focus on criterion D presentation, which is worth 4 marks. This criterion emphasizes the importance of having a clear and appropriate structure for your extended essay, in line with the chemistry subject that you have registered. For example, long and complex experimental methods may be placed in an appendix with a summary of the methods included in the main body of the extended essay. Now, however, please be very careful because I need to remind you that your marker is not required to read the appendix, and most of the time they will not read the appendix. So therefore, within the body of the extended essay, the summary of method that you have included must be clear enough for the marker to understand what you are doing. So remember, an extended essay is not a lab report. Okay, so therefore, it is essential to show sample calculations and cite your materials according to the correct academic format. A bibliography is crucial and must be consistently presented in a standard format. So later I will cover how you should be presenting your bibliography. So common elements that must be found in the research paper of your extended essay include a title page, a table of contents, which many students always leave out, page numbers, as all these contribute to the quality of the presentation. Students may use numbered and headed paragraphs to impose a clear structure. Layout considerations should be present and applied correctly to support the reading and understanding and evaluation. So this may include making appropriate choices in terms of the flow and the materials which should be carefully selected and labeled. So if you have many tables of raw data, then these large tables of raw data collected are best included in an appendix and carefully labeled. Once again, I have to remind you that the EE marker is not going to read your appendix. So therefore, the key information that you need to show to the marker regarding your raw data may still have to be included in a summarized version in the main extended essay text. Only processed data that is central to the argument of your extended essay should be included in the body of assessment as close as possible to its first reference. So make sure when you place your processed data, it's placed in a logical manner, a good flow, to allow the marker to understand how they are derived. So tables of processed data should be tabulated in the most appropriate form, and they must not include significant bodies of text. So if you do put in a lot of text within a table, then these words must be included in the 4,000 word count. So by adhering to these guidelines, you can ensure that your extended essay is well structured, clear, effectively presented, which will contribute to a higher overall score for this criterion, as well as it makes it easier for the EE marker to read, and they will be able to follow your argument better. So with regards to this criterion D presentation, some of the common mistakes our students make include exceeding the 4,000 word count. Alright, you will be penalized if you exceed the word count, as anything that is beyond the word count will not be marked. For some students, there's poor or non-existent referencing system in the body text, and they use erratic fonts and font size, which makes the presentation less professional. So ensure your extended essay is well organized and follow the standard academic format, include all required elements, and make sure that your overall layout supports reading, understanding, and evaluation. Now we come to the last criterion E in the rubrics. Criterion E assesses your engagement with your research process, and this includes your reflections on planning and progress, as well as your intellectual initiative and creative approach. So some students do not understand that reflections and the managed bag actually carries a weightage of 6 marks. So let me remind you, your reflections carries a heavy weightage of 6 marks. So document your decision-making process, the challenges faced, and how you overcame them. As you reflect, demonstrate personal interest in your topic and some creative approaches that you have put in to solve the problems and some of the skills that you have acquired during this extended essay process. So common mistakes that our students make for this criterion include not demonstrating personal engagement or reflective thinking. And sometimes they fail to show how setbacks were addressed. So reflect on your decision making and planning, show evidence of critical and reflective thinking as you write your reflection, and provide some insights into the process and the learning outcomes. So overall, your EE will be graded out of a maximum of 34 marks. And the grade boundaries for the extended essay are usually as follows. To get grade A, the grade boundaries will be 26 to 34. Grade B, the grade boundaries will be 20 to 25. Grade C, the grade boundaries will be 13 to 19. Grade D, the grade boundaries will be 6 to 12. And E will be from 0 to 5. So it is important to achieve at least a grade C to pass. Additionally, you can also earn up to 3 bonus points based on your EE and TOK grades. So after going through the rubrics, you understand how to unpack the rubrics. Let's talk about the structure of your essay. Okay, if you follow the structure, you will most likely be able to address and cope well with the earlier set of rubrics that have gone through. Your EE should include a title page, contents page, introduction, body, conclusion, references, and bibliography. It is important to have a clear and logical structure for your presentation. So, the key components of your essay, when we talk about the body, it will include the research background, the methodologies, the analysis and presentation of data, the discussion, the evaluation, and leading to the conclusion. Plagiarism has serious consequences for the IB assessment. So I would strongly advise you to enroll in a turnitin class with your respective EE supervisor for plagiarism check and also follow the EE submission format and guidelines. All right, you will be able to access Turnitin to check through the plagiarism report and take action to correct all of them before the final submission to IBO. Regarding the formatting requirements for your whole extended essay, take note to use Arial font size 12. And the presentation of the text should be double spaced. And remember, you need to have a title page. And the title page will include the research topic, the research question, the subject that you are taking, which is chemistry extended essay, the session that you are sitting, as well as the word count. So the final submission to your EE supervisor should be in a PDF format and ensure that all the alignments are correct and the formatting are ideal. Double check the PDF file that you have created. The PDF file should have a file size, a maximum file size of 10 MB only. Now, take note that there should be no personal identifier within the report. And in the event that you are hand drawing any diagram, make sure that the hand drawn diagram are scanned in to your extended essay text. Now, sometimes you may have no choice but to use appendix. A general recommendation is that appendix should be kept to a maximum of 10 pages. All right, a reminder, the key information that you like your EE marker to read should never be placed in the appendix. Now, over the years, we have students putting in huge chunks of words into the tables to cheat the word count. It is not allowed because IB stipulates 4,000 words as the maximum word count. Once you have done your Turnitin and all your formatting check, as you save your file in a PDF format, please also name your file according to this format, 002329 dash followed by your 4 index number and your name according to the IB registration format, then space ee.pdf. To clarify on the word count, you may use this as a guide. So generally, everything is inside the word count except your contents page, all your diagrams and illustrations, tables of data, equations, formulas, all the data processing calculations and error propagations calculations, any in-text citations that you have made within the main text, the bibliography, the reference section, and also the reflections on your managed web, but they are usually in a separate form. All right, and some of your headers, that means your headings, are also not included in the word count. One simple way to check your word count is to save your extended essay as another file. So you have another file that is used for word count and one file that is used for submission. So for the file that you have planned to use it for word count, remove the contents page, remove all the diagrams, all the charts, all the equations, calculations, remove all your in-text citation, footnote, bibliography, and then check the word count. that will really reflect the actual word count that you have written for the body of your extended essay. So these are the 6 requirements I've stated earlier. So there is also a student checklist that we have given you. Make sure you use the checklist for submission to ensure that your research question is correctly done. Okay, so as you use the checklist, it will help you to ensure that your research question is phrased as a question, your word count is within 4,000, and your essays include the relevant required sections like the title page, contents page, introduction, the body, conclusion, references, and bibliography. Okay, and make sure there's no personal identifiers within the extended essay. And as you named your file, keep to the correct file name format. As stated earlier, I'm going to repeat here, 002329 dash your file index number, followed by your IB registration name, followed by ee.pdf. Now, regarding appendix, a general reminder, let's keep it to maximum 10 pages if you can, and take note, anything that is important to the argument must not be included in the appendix, as the examiner will not read the appendix. I assure you they will not read the appendix. Now, every year we have different title page for EE. Some of you design very nice creative ones, but let me give you a sample of the title page for EE and the required components that you must present. Alright, on the title page there should be a research topic and there should be your research question. The difference will be that the research question must be phrased in the form of a question with a question mark. The subject will be chemistry extended essay. For this year, the session will be November 2025. And you need to state your word count clearly on the cover page. So let me show you an example. So something like this. So the research topic will be the effect of pH on the bioabsorption of heavy metals using fruit peels. The research question will be, how does pH affect the bioabsorption of lead-2 ions using banana peels? So I want you to take note of the difference between the research topic and the research question. Okay, this part is kind of repetitive, but I'll just very quickly bring you through. So in the body of your standard essay, you may need to have an introduction such that covers personal motivation, the scope, the focus. Okay, so for introduction, it is usually only quite short, covering the overview, the focus, the scope, as well as the purpose of the research. Okay, do not spend too much time writing this section. So the whole body of the extended essays covers many sections, and some areas include the background information that you have gathered from your literature sources, some common knowledge like chemical equations and reaction mechanisms, as well as chemical structures should be included. The methodology has to show information from the literature sources. And a gentle reminder, please do not mix up the EE rubrics with the IE rubrics. They are very different. Okay? And for example, for EE, you may not need to have a table of variables. And for super long complex procedures for EE, you can give a summarized version and leaving the very detailed version in the appendix. Okay, so for EE, that's the main difference with the IA rubric. So please have a clear understanding of both and do not mix up. So under the body, you will also find your results, data processing, interpretations of the results included, as well as the overall evaluation of the validity of your results. This has to be carried out and well supported by literature journal sources as well as scientific chemistry concepts. So please make sure that you actually showcase that your analysis is well supported by journals as well as chemistry concepts as you're writing your discussion and evaluation sections. When it comes to conclusion, always ensure that your research question is answered. And along the way, you may want to propose some areas for future investigation to address some of the unresolved questions that you have in mind regarding your extended essay findings. So as you have written to your conclusion, your evaluation, along the way, there could be some unresolved questions that pop up as you analyze your data or as you analyze your findings. And these unresolved questions are good areas for future investigations that you can propose in the section of your conclusion. After the conclusion, the EE must have a section for bibliography or references. All right, you can follow any of the academic citation style that you want to. One of the citation style that you can adopt is the American Chemical Society format, which we call it the ACS format. Okay. However, it is not necessary to keep to the ACS format. Other well-established academic citation styles are also acceptable. So whether you should be presenting your bibliography in a numerical format or alphabetical format, it really depends on the citation style that you have adopted within the body of your extended essay. So it has to be consistent. Okay, finally we come to the appendix. Appendix is strongly not recommended to go beyond 10 pages. And a gentle reminder again, components or information that you wish that your EE marker to read and access should never be placed in the appendix because they will not mark the appendix. All right. So, and also please do not keep referring your EE marker to flip pages to appendix and then flip back to the text to follow your discussion because this disrupts the continuity of their reading and it actually affects the communication of the information to the marker. After putting in months of hard work to your extended essay, make sure you back up your EE document regularly on a hard disk or on the cloud. Okay, the last thing you want it to happen to you is that your file becomes corrupted or you have lost the EE document. Finally, I'm at the end. In conclusion, as I end my presentation and sharing, okay, I like to emphasize a thorough research and critical thinking are essential for a successful chemistry extended essay. Now, seek guidance and feedback from your EE supervisor throughout the process. Every student has an assigned EE supervisor to support you in the journey. All right. So remember to reflect on your learning journey as well on the manage back regularly. All right. Because the reflections also do carry a weightage of 6 marks. Now, I wish you all the best in your chemistry EE journey. And if you have more questions, please approach your EE supervisor to seek help and guidance. Thank you. Bye-bye.